Hello and welcome back. This is David from the Personal Finance Squad. We just finished up with section 5.1 where we went through unit pricing. That allows us to compare similar costs for similar items to see which is the best purchase for the budget. So now what we need to get into is unit 5.2 where we go a little deeper on unit pricing because there's another aspect to think about before you simply purchase something based on a consumption value. There's the consumption itself. What we're talking about is right here. And this is actual food consumption. How much you're actually eating. Are you going to eat the things that you buy? Are they going to expire? If they expire, then you are wasting money. And you'll see that written here as you read into the passage. But like a family-sized bag of chips, right? So a seller say, you know what, I might cut a little bit off my unit price, but I'm selling more quantity, so I'm getting a total dollar cost into my hands because someone's willing to pay more for it. A product may come in individual packs while another may offer less packs but more volume. There's all creative ways that they market their products, and I'm sure many of you have seen that, especially with the products you buy over and over again, the way that companies choose to sell them and how they want to lure you in to get. Let's get into the table below here. We can see, for example, this is the same yogurt table except there's some differences here. The yogurt table was in the other section. All these costs are the same here, but the cups are different. And you can see these two are 6 ounces, but this one is 4 ounces. And so when we add up the total amount, they do very decently here. And you can see that the unit prices are different. And you can see right here, for example, the clear-cut choice you would think right off the bat is to buy the 24 cups. Because you are getting less, and certainly of a total amount, but you're certainly paying a lot less. This is a pretty big difference here. So again, we just talked about that we think that the best choice right off the bat from the seeing eye test is the 24 cup. But what's to consider is the package size. So for some people, 4 ounces may not be enough consumption. So in my case, I'm a Chobani fan, and they're 6 ounce cups. And that's fulfilling to me. If they were 4 ounce cups, it's not enough to sustain. So if you run into that problem like I do, that means if I had the 4 ounce cup, I say, well, you know what? I need something else. Now I'm going to eat a bar or something, like a Nature Valley or something. So that pretty much means I'm going to have to go buy something else to help me sustain it. Now, there's nothing wrong with eating both of those if that's what you want, but I'd rather eat the 6 ounce yogurt and just get it over with and not have to deal with something else. The other thing to consider is, let's say we have 24 cups, as we're speaking about, but it doesn't mean you're going to eat the 24 cups. Maybe Jasper, being as a single father, his child doesn't like yogurt, and he doesn't eat yogurt every day. Let's just say, for example, that he only eats 16 before they expire. So all of a sudden, that 24 cup value looks great, but the difference is he's wasting 8 of them. Oh, is that really worth it? That's a good question. He'd be better off over here, per se. Is he better off buying 18 for 11? I don't know. I mean, he may also purchase single amounts so he can control the consumption rate. We throw a unit price here as an example that was 50 cents higher. And by doing that, some quick little math, it would cost $8 for what he needed, right? Because if $8 would be for 16 cups. Do the quick math so you can see it, but it's 50 cents times 16 cups, and that equals $8. So the question becomes, if we're saying that he's going to eat 16, now we know that it's better off that he buys single cups, so, because brand X was $9.99, and single purchase is $8. So obviously, he's going to save $2 a month, which is, we wrote it over here, but we got a lot of red here, so I want to be able for you to see this. Remember, the seeing eye test is not always the best measure of what's the best purchase for people. So let's get into consumption rate a little further so we can look at another example. A box of breakfast bars, 10 in a package, and the consumption rate is 1 a day. And we say that comes out to around 37 a year. So doing the quick math, 365 bars, 10 in a box, do straight division, 36 and a half, so that was rounded up to 37. And then we say 36 and a half divided by month rather than box comes out to just over 3, so let's just say it's about 3. You can see that it does provide some really good value. It gives you the vision, because by having this vision in front of you and seeing the things written out, you know what you're really going to eat, true knowledge. And It's a grasp on the food cost, which is always what we're trying to figure out, right? You want to get the best for your money and make sure you understand what you're spending it on. What are you getting for your money? I said right up here that it'd be better in the Jasper case if he was only going to eat 16 that he would buy the single cup purchase. Even at a higher unit price, it would save $2 a month. Now, that's only $24 a year, but let's just imagine that you save $2 or more on other products, and you might find another 20 products or so, or 30 a year. That money starts adding up. And then this is why when you think about everything in your budget, that you can find ways to keep money in your pocket, not giving it to somebody else or wasting the money on things that you don't use. That money adds up, and that's why budgets can be sustained and you can live pretty well off the money that you make within reason. So we talked about a food plan for dinner. What we're going to do right here is do a one for breakfast here. Looks like Jasper's got a lot of things in his plan that most people eat for breakfast at one point or another. Bagels, bananas, breakfast bars, eggs, milk, oatmeal, orange juice. So he's came up with his own consumption rate. And you can see the bagels are every other day. Certainly has a banana, breakfast bar, 2 eggs, half a cup of milk, oatmeal, and orange juice. So he's eating a pretty hearty breakfast here, because at some point you're going to see there that this and this are every other day, right? But 7 days out of 14, he's going to land and he's going to have all of these things to eat. So he's certainly not pulling back on what he likes to have. So you can see right here we go through the same exercise, and we have all of this listed out, the number of purchases. So the math was done, and this comes out to the purchases per month. So another thing to point out here is not all of the products can be purchased on a weekly basis. For example, bagels, breakfast bars, milk, orange juice, and oatmeal all require 4 or less purchases a month. Let me remove this out of the way. So based on that number, there's no need to purchase these products on beyond the 4-week average. Now in the inverse, bananas and eggs eclipse the 4 purchase per month schedule, and this means they need to go more often. These are, again, little things you have to figure out. And what you also have to play into here is again, the expiration rate. Because bananas are going to expire quicker than eggs. Eggs may actually last the longest on his list up here, for example. If we look, maybe not breakfast bars. Bagels, if you keep them in the fridge or the freezer, they might get more longevity. But the whole point is, those are other things you have to think about. So if we look at his bananas, for example, we do the same math. 365, he eats 5 a week, so he has 73 trips a year. Divides that by 12, and he gets 6 trips per month. So on or about, he's going every 3-4 days, something of that effect. Now we adjust it because we want to get this on a weekly basis. Our purchases are weekly. So I'm just trying to get into our format. So the whole point here is for eggs, raising the carton count from 12 to 18. So what we're saying here is that we threw an example of eggs, saying if we buy 18 rather than 12, it reduces the trips and the eggs are still good. So they don't expire, so that's probably more convenience. So you don't have to go as much. It's not an exact science of how much you're going to go shopping each week in terms of the ability to purchase other products at the same time. You just need to get into a flow of what you're used to and what works for you. Products last longer than others. This is why a consumption chart and a weekly grocery list, along with the food calendar, is going to help you really get a good grasp on the food that you like and what you want to buy and how often you're going to eat it. So that's going to conclude this section. And we're going to scroll down here and we're going to get into this next section here, buying in bulk. There's certainly a value into doing that, but that also ties in things like consumption. So we will see you in the next section, and I appreciate that you joined.